Welcome to another video from thefanpub.com. Got Sean with me again.
It's always great to be back out, and again, it's a player profile video, and I will, quickly lead this very quickly. Al really, to be perfectly honest with you, has normally no clue, but for this one, he does know because I mentioned it in the previous
in general,
video.
I have no clue.
He has no clue in general, but for this video, he does know who's coming. I haven't given him any time to think about it though. We've gone straight to camera to shoot it, so he hasn't really had any chance to think about it. And this is a player for the shoes, very high on the ADP lists, James Conner.
Yeah.
Now, I know Al knows what I think on this player, but I haven't really said it officially anywhere, so this is an opportunity for me to do so. But I'll probably give you my opinion first, then I'll get Al's, because at least his will be either very different than mine or agree. Now, I think I can talk with some clarity over this pick, because last year, if you look at our videos, you'll notice that I highlighted Jalen Samuels and James Conner as a stack to own last year in any format over Le'Veon Bell. I actually said to avoid Le'Veon Bell. So out of all the people that could be high on James Conner, I can be the highest. I think I can be really clear, and I'm going to say this: get rid of him. Just get rid of it now, because here's why. Right. So last year I was high on him. This year I want the guys underneath. I want Benny Snell, I want Jalen Samuels, and I want to own those guys, and I do not want to pay the price for this guy. And I've already predicted this months ago. Throughout this goes back to December. I've mentioned this, and already the rumours are starting to circulate from Pittsburgh that they're kind of looking at a committee. It's a running back by association kind of thing, and it's not necessarily this. The reason is simple. This team is in a bit of transition. They've lost their two key stars. This is Brown and Le'Veon Bell have both moved on. No matter how good other players are, and I'm not knocking those other players because I think Ben's, he proves what he can do. How deep he can chuck the ball. He's got a great arm. They've got some really. I like the coach. I've got a real soft spot for their coach, Mike Tomlin. I think he's really good.
Yeah.
Even if there's been backroom issues, look. You've got to handle divas. This is hard to do. You're dealing with some egos. It's very hard. He's done a good job. But there's a thing at the running back thing that I've been highlighting and talking about off season, which is Jalen Samuels. For me, the running back coach is his running back coach from college. And so he knows this guy intricately. James Conner does not have that luxury. And it isn't just about that, but they're already moving away. You're going to pay a very high price for James Conner's services going into this year based on last year's data. And I'm sorry to say this, but this is one of the biggest risks in the first round of fantasy football. And I just will not pay the price.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about it this year. I would much rather own the two guys underneath, or one of them, take a share of one of them. Jalen Samuels could well be the third down back. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're getting in very, very late, which you will, and Benny Snell could come out of nowhere and steal this job. Because 4 or 5 weeks in, we might see them struggling to move the ball with James Conner. And here's why, right? Here's another thing. Let's assume, rightly, that James Conner is the lead back to start the season off. Let's go with that. There's a year of data on this team now coaches have got. James Conner is not Le'Veon Bell. James Conner is not an elite running back. He's not anywhere near those guys. He did very well. I'm not denying that. Yeah, I'm not saying he didn't, but I'm just telling you that with a year's worth of data and the way that Pittsburgh are going to be dimensionally, that if I'm a coordinator, what I'm looking to do is he'll have tendencies, and I think I know what they are. I'm a layman in terms of being a coordinator, so if I'm picking them up, these guys are. I think he's got some tendencies, and there are certain players that don't. And the two players that don't, Jalen Samuels was very difficult to work out. I looked at the tape on him. He was good in the games he played. 199 yards, 3 touchdowns. In the playoff run, showed a real quality to a player that was excellent. It was really difficult to work out where they line him up, and I really found that from a coordinator's point of view, a coach's point of view, he was a nightmare, mismatch night, really difficult. And then you had Benny Snell as this really bowling ball, bruising, horrible player. You got to tackle for 3 quarters, then he gets stronger as the game goes along.
But he's a plodder, though.
He's a plodder, but he's just the right kind. I mean, they're Jerome Bettis, and we could have called him a plodder, but I like those plodders sometimes. Don't want to tackle him. So where I'm going with this is James Conner, I think, is going to struggle early doors. I think they're going to have to move the ball around a lot using Jalen Samuels. There's going to be a lot of downs where Juju Smith-Schuster could be double covered quite a lot of the time, leaving another guy out open. But Jalen Samuels could capitalise on this, and Benny Snell might. So this is no longer obvious. So to me, thinking insightfully, I'm going nowhere near James Conner, particularly in redraft. And if I owned him in Dynasty, which I did have a share of, and I subsequently traded high, got a pick and other bits, I'm not worried about it this year. So I'm
He's
capitalising
currently-
its highest value.
His ADP is 12.
It's a big price. How do you feel?
We're talking in June now.
Yeah.
James Conner himself came out and said it's going to be a backfield split. That's the player himself. So they've been actually doing 2 running back sets in practice. So they had Jaylen Samuel and James Conner on the pitch together. So it seems like it will be more of a 50-50 split, maybe 60-40, 70-30.
And do you know why I think this is out? Because I think they realised themselves as a team. Mike Tomlin, I think, is a very good coach, and he's realised that if he doesn't have these 2 back sets, he's leaving Juju exposed on 2-on-1 coverage. So he's got to have the 2 backs to allow one of them, probably Jalen, to roll out and do what he does best. I'm not saying James Conner can't catch, because he certainly can, but he's a very, very good pass catcher out of the backfield, which is great for Ben when you need to work the underneath stuff. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. After losing Bell, you need that sort of safety net.
Safety net for Ben. You
I
don't
mean,
want him
the other
hanging
thing
in
I'd
the
say is, when you look at the players, if it is like even a 60-40, 70-30 split, one's going at ADP 12 first round, and the other one's going down in the hundreds. Probably 120 or something like that. So the price you're paying for each of them is massively different.
And I never mind owning a share of someone who's way down the list that no one expects to do well, because it hasn't cost me anything of any real value.
And if Connor went down, then Samuel's value goes through the roof.
Same with Benny Snell. And so I'm avoiding. So that's my advice. But again, if you love the player and you like the situation, then good, carry on.
I mean, Connor showed he was a good player last year.
Certainly did it. People argue that if he did it last year, he can do it this year. Yeah, but you've got to remember, last year, everybody said it was Le'Veon Bell's backfield.
But Pittsburgh themselves are telling you that it's going to be a more split. Even the players are saying it's going to be a split situation.
So that immediately should scream red flag. And you should be running for the hills, and his ADP should reflect that, which it currently isn't. So that's why I put him on the player profile.
I mean, he should be 2nd, 3rd round player.
He should drop. I mean, again, he'll have a value. Like if he drops into the sort of late 2nd, early 3rd, I think that's a fair shot, because even with a reduced workload, Pittsburgh are a high octane offense. That's okay. I can live with that mitigated circuit. I can cope with that. But if I'm picking him in the first to be my number 1 stud, I've got huge concerns.
Well, I've got Jalen Samuels in a lot of leagues.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
I've liked the player for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
I've managed to only get him in. It's the same old story. I get Ito Smith, Jalen Samuels in the American League. So hopefully America will catch up to this and realise that's why I'm doing it, because it's a real good stash for this year. And even if we're wrong, it's not like it's a first round.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you a lot to follow the advice, and that's what you're looking for. Someone who can give immense value that doesn't cost you a lot. Doesn't cost you a lot of draft capital.
Excellent.
Okay, well, thanks very much for watching.
See you next time, and thank you. Like, comment and subscribe.